Welcome. It's Hump Day. Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to take a listener question here, but before we do, hey, there are no aspects in the sky over our head today. The only thing we have is at 6:45 this evening, the moon goes on a long void of course. It's a 14-hour void of course. And then tomorrow morning at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time, the moon enters Pisces. And hey, did you do anything around Yom Kippur yesterday? Now, see, we're in it, right? So it's from sunset yesterday to sunset tonight, and we said that Jerusalem is 7 hours ahead of New York. So if you correlate the time, you can at least know when it happens there and also set it to your own local time as well. I went up on the mountain last night, and that was just really cool. Special moment. Chilly up there. Woo! It's getting cold. You folks that are coming, bring more than a heavy coat. This humid air feels colder than it really is. But all of the atonements that we talked about yesterday are kind of cool to do this time of year, whether you're Jewish or not. Now, let's take a listener question.
Hi, Thomas. This is Brenda from Vermont. I recently had a tragedy in my family, and it dawned on me that both myself and my daughter were the same exact age. At 38 years old, we lost the love of our lives, and both of them were also 35. And I'm just wondering, is there some sort of meaning in this, or is this just a horrible coincidence?
Well, Brenda, first of all, our sympathies. She sent this in last week, and we just had time to get to it here. But definitely our sympathies for both of your losses. I'll answer this a couple of different ways. Number one, if you listen to the audiobook that I narrated for Fred Dodson called Lives of the Soul, it is the book that has made so much difference to so many people when they have faced this same situation. The loss of someone, and you just don't understand. And that's happened a lot, obviously, over the last several years. This book gives better, more context to that than anything that I've ever encountered. The other thing is, I interviewed the author, not about that book. That was a long time ago. But if you check out my other podcast, Subconscious Mind Mastery, it is the current episode. Fred mentions in there a great line. He says, I don't believe in coincidences. Everything has a purpose on earth and in heaven. So if you listen to Lives of the Soul, you kind of get the in heaven piece, and then that plays out here on earth. Let me tell you a little astrological, interesting ditty, and we don't know the end of this story either. But as you mention, a parent-child relationship, for example, Queen Elizabeth, who just passed, has 0 degrees Taurus sun. Her son, her S-O-N, Prince Charles, now King Charles, has a 0 degree Taurus moon. So obviously a soul-based overlap. And interestingly, her son is in the 4th house, so that puts it in the house of home and family. Now, this is not anything we can prove or substantiate tangibly, but I'm going to go with that this was not just coincidental. Nor were the agreements that you and your daughter and these two men agreed upon before you all incarnated. I've talked about this quite a bit in Subconscious Mind Mastery, so I'll let you dig around in there and find those episodes. But we have indeed talked a lot about this topic of that these kinds of things are certainly not just random happenstance, in my humble opinion. And there are a bunch of substantiating stories that you can find all across different slices of life, different cultures, different continents, to verify the same thing. You know, one thing that I might suggest you do is a double reading with you and your daughter with Robert Glasscock. He has this whole program that he follows to dig into the chart and see what the soul connections are. Of course, you can find that information on the Old Soul, New Soul Astrology podcast. See, we got all these podcasts, right, to cover all these bases for you guys. All right, well, we still have a light week. If you have a listener question, we could probably work it in tomorrow. The sun opposes Chiron early in the morning, so we'll talk about that as it becomes exact tomorrow. Have a great hump day. Love you.